Okay. Hey guys. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 3 at the Etihad. This is your post-match discussion or rant, whatever you want to call it. It gets frustrating to see the same stuff. And I guess again, maybe it's a bit of just like the PTSD from the previous seasons and whatnot, but I mean, yeah, okay, let me back up and just say, okay, if you've watched any of my stuff, you know that I am firmly Amram out, right? You know I am. So let's just get that out of the way. I haven't wavered or waffled on that or flip-flopped. I'm firmly in that camp. And the reason why I'm firmly in that camp is because you don't see the change, you don't see the adaptation, right? Like you can't always just take your style of play from your league that you come from and force it onto a completely different league, And that's why I'm hammering him out. It's not just 'cause I don't like him or whatever, nothing like that. I think he's trying. I just think that he needs to change his style. He needs to not be so stubborn. And so, you saw more of it today, right? Like City, you watch them and they can play tiki-taka, pep style ball, or they can go long and hit you on the counter. I mean, they can play all kinds of ways against you. And like for us, it's like one way, and it just doesn't yield the results, And like you look at how you look at the talent we have and the talent we've had, and you just feel like they're just not being used to their full potential. Like everyone is just kind of like playing to like 60% of their potential, and not because of like they're not trying. It's just that they're being told to maybe sit when they would instinctively go forward, or they're being told to go forward where they would instinctively sit. I just feel like there's just this I don't know, just something missing, because you look at our team on paper and you're like, that's a decent squad. Like I remember saying that to start the season. I was like, this is one of the first times where I feel like we've got a decent squad, a decent team. I mean, okay, sure, we're missing Mount and Cunha today, but I don't think that they would have made much of a difference. Okay, I think Mount would have made more of a difference than Cunha. I think Mount would have made more of a difference from his pressing ability. But I don't think he would have scored or anything like that. I think he may have, forced them and harried him a bit more in the back and made him uncomfortable. But I don't know that he would have changed the outcome of that game. I don't think Cunha would have either. I don't think the two would have together, right? Um, and I know I'm kind of all over the place with this right now because this is kind of a raw reaction. But starting at the front, I mean, Sheshko didn't really do a ton, if you ask me. I said it at halftime, my halftime show. He made some straight runs where I feel like he should have curved, and I feel like that's kind of basic football stuff. And again, I'm not trying to pile on Sheshko. I know he still needs time to bed in, but it was just kind of like basic stuff at times where like we weren't doing right, and that was one of them. Like Sheshko making these straight runs as opposed to curving away. Like I mean, look at Holland at the other end. He knows how to get away from his man, use his size, and all that kind of stuff. I feel like Sheshko isn't doing that enough, right? Maybe he will learn. He'll learn that, hey, look, I gotta use every inch of my 6'5", whatever he is, frame, and push and pull and grab to make space. I really gotta be an absolute like dog up here, right? So he's still on. He didn't do much enough for me today, but I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt since he's still fairly new. I think Ahmad was good in the 10. I said at halftime, I think he needs to go back to being a 10. I think Mazraoui can hold down the right wing back position. And if Mazraoui is hurt or needs a rest, we can either rotate Ahmad back there or Dallo can come in when he's recovered. And Buma was one of our best players. I think he was great in his role, 10 role. Um, Dorgu was getting on the end of stuff. I thought Dorgu did all right as well. Mesraoui, again, like I said, he did well. Um, but in the midfield, right, like Bruno just doesn't have the legs to get about the pitch, and he cost us, to me, at least the first goal, almost cost us a second, right? The first goal when Doku just absolutely like torched Shaw, right? Okay, that happens, that can be forgiven. But then when Doku got the second ball, because his first cross ricocheted and it went to Foden, and like Bruno's like standing there, right? Like, and then he starts throwing his hands like he does and pointing at everyone else. And I'm like, dude, like that was your man. That you should have had that man, right? I'd be yelling at Bruno, but then again, I don't know what kind of pull he has. I might get benched the next game, so maybe I don't say anything, right? Maybe that's part of the problem in the team. I don't know. I don't know, but like you just something just isn't quite clicking, right? And I don't know what it is. But anyway, let me finish going through the players again. I'm kind of raw on this one, right? So I'm kind of all over the place. So pardon me. I think I got to the midfield. I think I got to Bruno, and I kind of stopped there. Ugarte was not the right choice to start. I think Casemiro should have started. I think once you saw Casemiro come on, we started getting better passes out of the midfield, right? Because before, when it was Bruno and Ugarte, only Bruno could be the one to spread the ball left and right. When it's Bruno and Casemiro, both players can spread the ball left and right, can change their point of attack much quicker, not as much has to go through Bruno. So I think that was the wrong choice to start Ugarte. I think it should have been Casemiro. Um, and then across the back line, Shaw got torched a couple times, but I mean, I can't fully fault him for everything. Um, Delip was solid enough. Euro was solid enough. I mean, there were some iffy back passes. Like I think was it the second or third goal was off of an iffy back pass between the two of them. Bayindir, had some nerves, right? Shaky. I mean, what did you expect though? You didn't really expect anything amazing out of Bayindir. There was actually one play where I was surprised. I was surprised that Bayindir kind of held his nerve and played kind of a bit of a slick side pass when he was being pressed hard by the City team. And so I thought, oh, like, is that what you can do? Like, can you do that? But then at the same time, I think about the mistake he made earlier and the shakiness. So I'm like, okay, what did you expect there, right? So I guess part of me, is like, did I really expect anything different? Was I being overly optimistic when I said 1-0 or 1-1 draw? I know in my match previews and other shows, I was saying, oh, City are there to be had because of injuries. They weren't playing well, but I mean, they turned up today. Like we say, it's a derby, right? So, like, it's almost like your form doesn't matter going into these derby matches, right? Right? It doesn't matter. You could be, United could be bottom of the table and City could be top, and we'll come out with like a 1-1 draw or even United wins, right? So, I guess I've watched for years now. I guess I've learned my lesson in terms of saying that out loud, but I'll probably say it again and make a mistake again. But I mean, yeah, I mean, City showed up today, and like we kind of half showed up. The substitutions, bringing Maguire on, okay, fair enough. I think Xerxes should have come on sooner. Um, I think he probably offered a bit more than Šeško did in Šeško's time on the pitch. Again, try not to go too hard on Šeško, but in hindsight, I think maybe Xerxes should have started at striker, right? I know I said in my match preview, I said, okay, um, Šeško should start. It's time for him to start, and Xerxes can be an option off the bench to come in for either a 10 role or a striker role because he's a bit more versatile than Šeško. But in hindsight, yeah, maybe Xerxes should have started, right? And then, like I said, Casemiro should have started instead of Ugarte. As those are changes I would have made, I don't think it would have changed the outcome necessarily. It might have been a bit more respectful. It might have been a 2-1 as opposed to a 3-0. Which could have been 5-0, especially if Rangers didn't miss his chance, and I think Holland had one more chance as well. So yeah, I mean, it really could have been a 5-0 drubbing, but we got it there at 3-0. But you know, I don't know. Let me run through these match stats real quick. I mean, you probably read them while I've been talking, but I mean, United had 13 shots, City had 12, so we outshot them. But we only had 2 on target. City had 5 on target, so they were much more efficient. Oh, actually, I'm going to come back to that in a minute. I'm going to come back to the efficiency in a minute. 55% possession. I think I got that stat backwards. Sorry, I think it was 45 for United, 55 for City. Apologies for getting that one backwards there. Let me just double check that. No, huh? No, that's right. That's right. No, I'm right. 55% possession for United, 45% possession for City. Did not think I'd ever say that out loud. Especially while Pep is there. 84% pass accuracy for United, 82% pass accuracy for City, 8 fouls apiece, 4 corners for United, 2 for City. Again, those stats are quite deceiving. I feel like maybe towards the last 10, 15 minutes of that match is where those stats flip-flopped. Because yeah, I thought I had a typo. I thought I had a typo with City having less possession at the end of the match than United. But yeah, and then I just go into I just go into my notes here, right? So like, more of the same from the first half. We were too spread out, and this is one thing that I've complained about before, right? We were too spread out to really play together, right? And one of the things I said in my match preview, one of the keys to victory was to not only press, but to also stay tight, both offensively and defensively. I've seen us do it in parts games before, and we found a lot more joy. I want to say it was in the Burnley match. We did it quite well. We stayed tight, and we ultimately won the match. Now, obviously, City and Burnley on different levels, but it was better play. And so, for whatever reason, again today, we were just spread out, and it was like every time someone got the ball, they were surrounded by blue shirts. I mean, it was, it was the same crap, And I mean, I blame the system. I blame the system for that. I think these players know how to play tight and quick, but I blame the system keeping them too spread out. And then there was, no fluidity from our players at all whatsoever either. And you know what makes City and teams like so fluid? Everybody knows where the ball should go, right? So there was a counterattack that City had. I want to say it was second half. I can't remember that minute, but all I know is the ball comes up to Holland, and so like Holland's facing he has his back to goal, right? He's facing uh his own goal, and he's about towards the halfway line. Because we're running to his left, right? It'd be his left. He can't quite get the ball there. He can't quite do some funky, flick to get the ball there, but he knows it should go there. And the other City players know it should go there. And they know that Holland has to get the ball to them so they can one time it to that runner who's making his run. And so that's exactly what happened. The ball came to Holland. He knows where the ball should go, but he can't get it there. So he one times it an easier pass to Miss Silva or someone there, maybe it was Rangers, and then they spit it out to the runner on the right, and they think that was the shot where the chance they big missed the hole, right? There are a number of them. But that's what makes them so fluid is they all know where the ball should be, and so they're all in supporting positions to get that ball there, right? It's kind of like, if someone corner kick, right, and you get your big in front of you, he has that to the goal. He's going to get to it with the chest, right? He's not going to put some crazy score. What you do is you shoot yourself so he can chest it to you and volley at goal, right? Like that's what you gotta do. You know what needs to happen. Like you're reading the pass before the pass, you're reading the play before the play. And that's what's so well. Like our team just does not do. Like we're like kind of robotic, right? Like we're kind of like we're not seeing the pass before the pass before the play. Like we're not reading the game at all. And I feel like maybe the players have just been, I don't know, programmed to just be so like robotic in Amram's system. I don't know. Again, I blame the system. Our system. I'll put my hand up. I'm wrong in a year's time, but I absolutely blame the system, which is why I'm firmly Amram out. Yeah, I mean, though that's mostly what I had to say about it. I mean, look, I go on and on and on about it. I mean, I could pick out individual moments. I mean, you watch the match, right, or listen to it, you know what happened. It's just more of the same crap, honestly. I guess I'm not too bent out of shape about it because it is City. If this was like Sunderland or Brentford, then you know, pray for Amram at that point. I'm still Amram out. I think the lack of ability to change the system again today, and I think we pay the price for it. I think we will probably do a little better against Chelsea because they aren't quite as organized. I, s- uh, originally I said that we would probably get a draw out of Chelsea, but even though they aren't City, I think we probably lose to Chelsea. And I don't know. I still hope we beat Sunderland and Brentford, because if we struggle there, Amram is not making it Christmas. So anyway, do it. Check out the other videos. Tell me what you think. Like, subscribe. Road to 100. We are 7. Please be part of that first 100. That would absolutely that would make this day brighter for me, right? After that loss to City. If you could at least help me out there with a few subscriptions, I would love you for it. I appreciate it. And as always, I appreciate your time. And we move on to the next one. Peace.